Hey everyone, it's Lisa Loring, and it is Tuesday. The what is it? The 15th of October. It is definitely Tuesday. So there we are. Welcome. We're doing the tarot reading in the evening as opposed to the morning because on Tuesdays and Wednesdays currently I go to school. I'm in clinicals on Wednesdays, and on Tuesday, very early on Wednesdays. And on Tuesdays, I'm in school pretty early as well. So in order to have enough time and space to do the stuff that I want to do, such as this reading, I thought I might try to do it tonight. And we'll see what happens tomorrow night. But yeah, feels like now is the time anyway. And it's interesting how the day has sort of transpired because I don't know whether I'll get on Instagram later or not. I've got some stuff to do later, but I wanted to do a reading nonetheless. And I started out the morning feeling really different from the way I feel right now, but still like reflecting back to how I felt this morning, which was really powerful and, not really powerful. I shouldn't say that, like very comfortable in my own skin, like really understanding like all that I have learned. A lot of the things that I've been talking about in the past several days have been very true and really just kind of like dropped in a really solid three of pentacles kind of way. Yeah, pentacles kind of way. And 3D kind of way was what I meant to say. And, but then as the day transpired, there was a couple of little interesting things that came up that made me question, oh, did you really learn? Oh, maybe you should go back. So there's this temptation, I think we're all feeling, that we, you don't have this. You don't. And maybe you should go back, don't reach that high. Oh, you're wrong. You know what I mean? Like there's these things that kind of challenge us to question the path that we've chosen. And that's fine to question it, but that doesn't mean that you need to change course. Long story short. So what I do want to change is the fact that I do not have my candle lit. I do want to light my candle. I love my candle. Let's just get that sparked up for the reading. There we go. And let's do it. We're using the Gilded Tarot tonight. And thank you for anyone who joins me live or who joins me later. If anyone joins me live, I'll certainly pick a card for you. And we'll see what happens. Who has joined me is my big man, Pete. My kitty cat, Pete. So we'll see what happens. Let's see what comes up in the reading. The Gilded Tarot is what we'll work with. And then I've got a few other decks that we can choose from it within Grasp that we will be able to check out and see what happens. I did pull, before I even go any further, this morning I pulled up 2 cards from that new Crystal Tarot deck. What the heck is the name of this deck? Why can't I ever? Oh, here it is. Here, we need to call it out proper because, we like to give credit where credit is due. Tarot of the Gemstones and Crystal, a mystic combination, the wisdom of tarot and the magic power of gemstones and crystals. By, I don't know. Oh, these are made in Belgium. By some guy named Harry, I think it is. Some guy named Harry. Anyway, I want to give credit where credit is due, but that's the box of those. And 2 cards that came up right away this morning. I did pull 2 cards this morning for myself. And one is one was the 2 of Cups, which is a card of partnership. And the crystal for that was Dumortierite. I've never heard of this crystal before, and I should probably read from the book. Oh, Instructions and Interpretation by Helmut G. Hoffman is the author of the book that came with that. It's a beautiful blue stone, and I don't own this stone. Like I said, I don't know this, but so I ended up carrying around Angelite today instead as a different one. And then green tourmaline was the other card, the 6 of Wands. So these are both wonderful cards. It's wonderful partnership of self and victory of self. And my tea bag this morning and my little tag on my tea was the purpose of life is to know yourself and love yourself and trust yourself and be yourself. And so that was some of the things that I was meditating on even before I did my own prayers, which was coming up for me, was about the more we are ourselves, and this came up in yesterday's reading, we're taking off the masks. There is no room for being anybody but who we are. And the best we can serve the world is to actually show up and be our authentic selves. And if it feels like, it doesn't even feel weird anymore to just be yourself. And if you feel weird, like, oh, so they're going to think I'm weird. Check what that means for you, because yeah, you know what? There's no room for, and you know what? If people want to think that, that's fine. They're just not meant to be in your sphere. And that's not a bad thing. They're just in other spheres. And the people who you feel comfortable around and with whom you feel the most comfortable in your skin. And you don't put on performances. You don't have to change. They don't need to dress you or tell you what to do constantly. No one can control you, and you can't control anybody else. That's a theme from Tim Lucy, Aphrodite. He keeps saying that in a lot of his readings and a lot of his conversations, his online conversations. And it's so true. And there's nothing more true that we're understanding, is no one can control us. And that is a very Two of Cups and a very Six of Wands energy. This is pairing up with yourself and pairing up with the people around us who do, whatever. And this is always, you're never alone. You're never alone. You are always in a victorious stance. So, Dumortierite, Dumortierite. Dumortierite is the name. And then it was green tourmaline. And I'll just quickly read Six of Wands. So the green tourmaline opened right up to that. This stone releases mental easing blocks, as well as removes our dealings with other people. So any kind of blocks that we have that keep us from being at ease mentally and emotionally, and any dealings with people who create that in us, who make us put our defenses up, check in on that, reflect on it, but understand that, you just need to be more discerning about how and with whom you spend your time and how much time you spend with them. Maybe they don't go away entirely. And this is something I keep talking about too, but maybe you just spend different time with them. And they're like your superficial friends, and they're these, kind of not, you kind of limit your exposure to them. And those kinds of people are just kind of like, those relationships will either grow and transform or not. But you will find your place for them, for where they need to be. You're going to do it without guilt. You're going to do it with a place that puts you in a Six of Wands place of power kind of thing. Six of Wands graduates from a Five of Wands, which is just, trivial trivial conflict. It's not really a big deal, but then you understand that, and that's when you come into the Six of Wands. It's just not a big deal. You understand who you are, and so does everybody else, and they actually celebrate that. You find the people you're supposed to be with. That's the Five to the Six of Wands energy. So removing outdated thought patterns makes room for creativity and new goals, and as a result, high standing and affluence follow. So there you go. And then the Two of Cups was the other one that came up. And that was that fun new stone. What the heck is this? Dumortierite. Oh, sorry, Pete. And this gemstone stimulates our intuition, making it easier to recognize and reduce the discrepancies in our own life. Right? We just get rid of those feelings of lack. We've got two cups, not just one. I mean, the Ace of Wands, this Ace of Cups is pretty cool. The dark blue Dumortierite strengthens the forbearing and patience we need for ourselves and other people. This makes it a good stone for partnerships. So, we can be in partnership with all kinds of people. That's what this also says. And selenite was one of the stones that came up for this week, I believe, on Sunday, which I have a magic one, selenite. And this stone is good for partnerships. It actually just makes us realize that we can hang out with whomever we want. We're just going to be like, we're just going to naturally know with whom we end up just gravitating toward, and time just passes, and whoa, it's been 2 days and we've been hanging out. We're not even tired of one another, that kind of thing. And then there's going to be the people who, it's clearly, coffee and tea is good. And then we're going to move on with our day. And that's pretty much what we've got. So those are just some of the energies that came up today. These cards of discernment, So let's pull we'll pull 3 from the Gilded Tarot deck. Thank you, Helmut Hoffman, for those beautiful cards. So 3 from the Gilded Tarot deck. I love this deck, because it's so vibrant. I will pull out the shadows here, so I'm kind of almost feeling them. I keep laughing. They're calling to me. They're calling to me. So at any rate, I'm going to pull these out and pull a few cards from the Gilded Tarot, see what comes up. Tarot, what are the energies that we can work with this evening? And even in through tomorrow, I feel like these are energies, well, those energies I pulled up from earlier, but I think they're still germane. And we'll see what comes up in these cards, what resonates. So maybe I'll pull a couple more from that deck, the crystal deck. It's a pretty neat deck. And I don't think I properly described how I came across them. I was looking for a set at the Crystal Fox in Laurel. And it was actually like behind some. I was like, what are those decks? And I just like reached in and boom, there it was. But that's how it works, right? That's how it works. All right, so what are the cards that we have to work with this evening and into tomorrow's energy? I'll go with tomorrow as well. Why not? Why not? Because I know I won't get to this until probably tomorrow evening. And I do like to do them. What do we have? 8 of Wands, messages. So we've got the 8 of Wands coming up. I'm just checking in the camera so I make sure that you guys can see that. 8 of Wands. I felt this energy in yesterday's reading, right? And it was just a couple under the top of the deck. But 8 of Wands, infinity. And that goes back to what I was saying. We have an infinite well of support within ourselves. That's that 2 of Cup energy. Like we can always reach inside, and we not only reach inside for guidance, and that guidance that we come from is our spirit guides are ourselves, right? Our spirit guides are our wiser self. They're the voices of our wiser self, and we're talking with our spirit. That's not to discount that there are other beings and other entities willing to help us, and we should absolutely reach out. But these messages are always there, and the 8 is that sign of infinity, right? And those messages are always there, and we pull in from those messages that are always around us, and we find that tranquility. I don't know if you can see those sheep at the bottom in the field. And when we are pulling from the universe, we can be as tranquil as those sheep, and we're unruffled. Even though there's maybe a lot of stuff going on. I always read this card as like, there's so much going on. I love that fiery sun in this card too, right? Love that. But those sheep are just kind of like, they're looking around. They're really unconcerned because they know that they have the support of the universe. The universe is always telling us, giving us proper messages. If we could just like chill out and listen, chill out like those sheep. So we've got the 8 of Wands. That's the first card to come out. And then we've got this one here. We've got the Queen of Wands. Check out this fiery energy. Hello. I got to look at what the astrology is tomorrow, but I know today was a fairly tranquil day. But we've got a lot of fire that's coming up. Queen of Wands. I love her. And, she's a queen. She has mastered her passions. And, what I do know is Venus goes retrograde either today or tomorrow. No, I'm sorry. That's not true. Venus is not going retrograde. Mercury is in shadow, not quite retrograde. That planet will go retrograde at the end of the month, which is messages, right? Intuition, communication, that kind of thing. But right now the messages are still coming in pretty loud and clear, and not in a confusing way. But even if they are a little confusing, retrogrades are just the opportunity to reflect, renew, review. Think of all the REs kind of thing, like just to go inside and look within as opposed to being so external. We still have a lot of energy to help us be external. What I was saying about Venus, though, is Venus is about to, and I love to listen to, he's a lot, David Palmer, the Leo King. He's not, his delivery isn't for everybody, but he's such an intelligent man. And he has such a wonderful way of bringing a lot of different things. If you can work with that and his energy, fiery energy, as well as a lot of Saturnian stuff. But at any rate, Venus, he was talking about how Venus is right now crossing the point where she went retrograde last year. So the kinds of things that you're going might be experiencing right now and the kind of things that you're hearing right now that kind of make you maybe perhaps feel like you want to take that step back where you already want to go into kind of a Mercury retrograde. Don't master your passions in this kind of like feminine mastery, not with a lockdown, but she's a queen, right? She's not going to put that heavy-handed, fist down. She's a queen, and you can see that she's stoking the fire. She's keeping it burning, but she's doing it in a way that's of mastery, that's in this very queenly, regal way. She's working her particular brand of magic in a way that's very creative, in a way that displays that passion, that fire. She takes care of those around her as well as herself. She's equally passionate. She has all of those things in balance. Like there's no raging fire going on around her. Mm-mm. So any kind of sacral tendencies, any kind of like fearful tendencies, this is a reminder that you actually can manage this. And like I said, like there may be a lot of messages coming on around right now that are also, like I said, creating a little fear-based stuff. Don't go there. No need. You are this person. No matter what the gender, she represents being there in a state of grace. Right? So don't, you have all that support of the universe. No need to get yourself all, go to a lower vibration. There's no need to go to a lower vibration. That may, it takes some skill though, right? I know. Like I said, I started out in that Queen of Wands place, and some weird stuff happened today. It wasn't weird, it just was. But I did notice that I was like, oh, that's what that is. In that way of like, oh, okay. Rather than getting like over emotional about it and like, oh no, going all chaotic about it and catastrophizing, I went to Queen of Wands place about it. I was like, oh, let's go do our reading. Let's go hang out with the cats. Let's do our chores. Let's, do the things that we love to do. And then we're going to sit down. I'm going to pull together some art. Oh, sorry about that, Pete. And the Two of Wands came up next. So this one fell out of the deck. So this is also about mastery, right? This is about strategy as well as, there was an interesting take on the Two of Wands. This is about strategizing as well as taking a path, like pulling in a strategy to take a way forward. Sometimes this card generally is seen as like making the choice between two paths, and that may definitely feel like what's going on. What I'm seeing now, what I'm getting now is actually, we've already taken a step down this road. We've already taken a step down the road that we want to go. And if you still feel like you're needing to choose between two paths, yeah, I don't know. I think that the decision has already been made. And maybe you're still kind of making some choices, or maybe there is a feeling that you're still having to make a choice. And that may be true. That may be true for you. We're all at different places in, these kind of downloads and whatnot continue to drop in. And pieces of information. And so, yeah, there may be like you're kind of waiting for a piece of information to drop in before you can actually take that journey with confidence, with that Queen of Wands confidence. God damn, this is a very fiery reading. So wait, he's clearly taking a moment and he's waiting. So don't, strategize, make your plan, and then take your step. Pull in that extra information that's clearly coming in pretty darn fast. So I wouldn't feel too impatient about it. I wouldn't get out of this Queen of Wands energy and just start taking a step down a path. The path is laid out, and maybe you're taking a moment to to reassess. And that's fine. That's totally fine. And this might be, where some of us are at until the end of the year when Mercury goes back forward again. But then, of course, Mercury will retrace its steps that it went through when it started to go through shadows. It's slowing down a lot right now. I think it goes into retrograde on Halloween. But that's another thing, like Mercury is retracing the steps that where Venus went into retrograde last year. And I believe Mercury also retrograded over the spot in Scorpio last year. So, it's pulling in that kind of information. So some of that may still be coming in, and that's fine. Yeah, I know we're all coming up. We're closing out a decade. We're coming up onto this huge conjunction of Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, South Node game in January, and an eclipse on Christmas Day. But I don't know why my nose is itchy. Every time my nose gets itchy, something's happening, and I need to kind of check in on what that's about. At any rate, but at any rate, maybe we are taking a moment to make a decision, and that's fine. That's fine. Take your moment. Hi, Mimi. How are you? I'm happy to pull a card for you. Which I will do in a minute. If you're still on, are you still there with me, Mimi? I don't focus on the screen so much. Dario and Brochet, card for them. Okay, I will do one. Yeah, sure, I'll do one for you. I'm going to pull one from the, hi, Mimi, Brochet. Hi. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to pull a card for you guys. I am going to pull a card from, actually, before I do that, I want to look at the bottom of the deck. The bottom of the deck is the 10 of Wands. Holy crap. This is a huge, oh my God. So yeah, you might feel like you're carrying a very big burden. And then the Wheel of Fortune is under that. We've got a lot of fire. And that's the planet Jupiter behind it. But the Queen of Swords is also here. So we're going to make a decision, or some decision is going to come in for us. Four of Swords, there's a card of meditation. So we are taking some time. We are feeling a little overburdened. Like we've got to put something down in order to step forward. Or either that, or we are gathering ourselves in order to pick up all of these wands and make that step forward. So, Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune is turning. It always does. The Queen of Swords is here to help us make that decision. And then the Four of Swords is here to, help us make, take a little, to really like process what we're going to do before we move forward. In a Seven of Wands, which might feel a little defensive. So, but Six of Pentacles keeps coming up. That card keeps coming up as a reminder that the universe is here. Hi, Alyssa. I'm happy to pull a card for you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you guys are. Where are you guys in the world? Oh, Alyssa, you said you're here from the Philippines. Nice. So good morning to you. Hi, Mimi, you're a Leo. Oh my gosh. Well, we have a lot of fire in the reading today. Mystic Dreamer, hi, how are you? You're in New York. Welcome to hi, East Coast here. I'm on the East Coast as well. So let's see, Alyssa, you're in the Philippines. Nice to meet you. Mimi, I don't know where you are in the world, but good morning to you, Alyssa. Good evening to you, Mystic Dreamer. All right, so I'm going to pull a card from the crystal. This is that, for those of you who are just joining me, this is the Tarot of the Gemstones and Crystals. It's a card that a deck that I recently bought that I'm really liking a lot. If you go back to the beginning of the video, I talk about the cards that I pulled this morning when I was doing my meditation and how those sort of play into these cards. And then we'll see what else comes up. So let's pull a card. Ooh, and two came up right away. So we have Sugar Light. Oh, I'm so not surprised that this card came up. Sugar Light. That's the spelling on that. Sugilite. You can ask a question. Absolutely, Alyssa. And then the gem silica. Oh, this is so pretty. Queen of Cups. I'm not surprised she came up. So we have three queens in the house. We had Queen of Wands. We have Queen of Swords that came up at the bottom of the deck, not too deep in. And we also have the Queen of Cups. So we're definitely needing to flex some compassion, not only to those around us, but we have to reflect that on ourselves. And the more we show up as ourselves, and this was the thing that I was talking about yesterday in yesterday's reading and in the beginning of this reading, we've got to show up as ourselves, because if we don't show up as ourselves, then who are we being? We're not doing anybody any favors, right? So you're a Capricorn. You are a Capricorn. Very nice. Very nice. I do love me some Capricorn. All right. So gem silica and sugilite. I'll read a little bit about what these two stones are. This sugilite is beautiful. I don't know if you can see that in that. Let me see if I can angle this light down. I'm not going to mess with that. The gem silica. Anyway, let me read about sugilite. Sugilite is actually the chariot. So we do have a lot of fire. Although the chariot is a card of Cancer, it is a card of 7. It's the number 7 card, and that's a card of decisions. And so again, we, here, this goes back to that 2 of Wands energy that came up, which is about we might be needing to make a decision and we're not quite ready. That bit of information that we still need hasn't come in. But be compassionate, like master your emotions. And that's was, I felt the Queen of Cups energy when I was reading about the Queen of Wands. And you have a love life question. Mystic Dreamer, you're a Libra sun and a Leo moon. My daughter's a Leo. Libra sun. Oh, I do love Libras. Oh, you guys are so great. How are you doing these days, Mystic Dreamer? I saw something from somebody on another chat from something I was watching last night. He said they were having a tough time right now as a Libra. Just curious. Queen of Cups. So let's read about what sugilite will do for us if we want to bring in that energy. But of course, so this is a major arcana card. So we are driving towards something. We're definitely going to be taking some path very, very soon. The answers are going to be coming in very, very soon about which direction we should take. That Queen of Swords energy was there. So we're definitely driving, but we're driving with, again, so we're in mastery of Queen of Cups, of mastery of emotions, mastery of passions, of that drive. We're not getting out of control. We're doing this with grace. We've got Queen of Cups on deck, Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands. Man, Queen of Pentacles, we would have had all ladies in the house, all ladies in the house. All right, so I'll get to your questions in a little bit. Oh, yeah, it's been a crazy past 2 weeks. Yeah. You can share and be a little personal if you feel like it. It's up to you. But I understand it's been a lot for Libras. It's been this whole Libra season. I was jealous of Libras for the year because I felt like y'all were going to have a really good year. Just, I felt like it. And then I have been hearing the exact opposite. I think it's been a really interesting time for Libra. Really interesting time. I'm not a Libra. I don't have a Libra. No, I have Uranus. I know. I have Uranus. You know why I knew that? Because I have Uranus in my house of work, my 7th house, which is very unusual placement. So I look at partnerships in a very unusual way. So I guess that I've always felt like a fish out of water. No pun intended. I've got 5 placements in Pisces. Tower moments and glory. Yeah. That's all you can. That's the only reason you can. If you can, I see glory, but if you can look at your tower moments as opportunities of getting into glory, that's happening for a reason. It would be. You also have. You said you were a Libra sun and a Leo moon. My daughter's been going through it. She's actually double Leo. But she's actually coming out on top of it. So she's had plenty of tower moments this year for sure. So sugilite, apart from its intensive violet rays that lead us to a greater spirituality, this stone teaches us humility, tower moments. That's for everybody, okay? Thank you, Mystic Dreamer. It brings us into harmony with ourselves, eliminates doubt, and guides us to greater satisfaction and self-control. Greater satisfaction and self-control. That's the Queen of Cups energy and combined with the Queen of Wands. Tarot interpretation, self-control, harmony, success, spirit of enterprise, balance of opposites, fire and water, honor, discovering yourself through your own deeds, finding an equilibrium between body and mind. So, these came up right. So this is the chariot. This represents the chariot card. So this is about finding that balance. And that came very strongly. The Queen of Wands was the central card in the reading. She does have that balance, and supported by the Queen of Cups, which came up in the gemstones. That is particularly important. So let's read what gem silica has why they combine that with the Queen of Cups. Oh, turned right to the page. Beautiful. This royal form of the chrysocola's expression inculcated noble feelings like brotherly love, understanding, harmony, and joy. As a result, there is increased awareness of our task in life. In addition, it emotes harmonies and calms the stressed heart. So again, I'll come back to what I was saying about we're being discerning about our partnerships and the people with whom we spend our time. And this for you, I think it was, who asked about Crazy 2 Weeks? Somebody asked about love life. Alyssa, that was for you. So we're actually being really, really discerning about the partnerships that we have. So, and one of the things I was saying, if you can't show up like yourself and always feel like you can be absolutely yourself no matter what, like I don't have any makeup on. Like I've stopped wearing makeup. I wear it if I'm going to work or something like that, and I do my readings, but honestly, I don't even bother. I don't have any jewelry on. I've gotten so simple. Like if you can't be your simplest, most true self with your person with whom you're involved with any partnership, that could be love life, that can be work, that can be a project in which you're invested, your pets, like whatever. If you can't be yourself, if you're working so hard to maintain that relationship, those are not what, if you can't show up and just be comfortable and let them, and they're equally coming to you. I mean, this is stuff we all know. This is like relationship 101, but I think we're finally getting it. We're finally starting to understand it, and we're doing it with a Queen of Wands and Queen of Cups combined. With a Queen of Swords, we're just like, no. And that's basically it. So I hope that answers your question, Alyssa. But yeah, that's basically, I hope that answers your question. And so that's an answer on love life. All right, so I'm going to pull a card for Mystic Dreamer. I'll pull another one for you, Alyssa, and I will pull one for you, Mimi. Okay, so you asked me, Mimi. Let's see. Oh, you said, so you card for them. Okay. Focused on his work. Mimi, are you still on? If you are, do you know what the sign is of the person that you're asking about? I may be able to give you a little insight. Because I'm in that same boat. Like I would really like to have I would like to have more in my relationship right now. But in truth, my work is taking so much of my energy, and rightfully so. And I've always put that aside for my relationships, but I really need to be doing more towards my work for a couple of years. And so for me to try to have the really kind of relationship that I want and maintain the kind of my drive towards my work, I really can't do both in a way that serves anybody right. Particularly, I'm going to be the loser. So I've got to just continue to be okay and drive toward my work and trust that. And I believe that the right thing will come in when I'm done that project, when I'm done that work and I'm on that side. So hopefully hopefully that helps you a little bit. You can ask a question, or I'll just say my girlfriend is dealing with a lot of very deep stuff right now. She revealed some things to me Saturday. Her son trying to kill him. And she is in. Whew. Yeah, that's going to mess anybody up. That's really hard. And this is your girlfriend, and you're trying to support that. Pull a card for you. Okay. So, Mimi, I'm going to pull a card for you no matter what. Oh, here, one already popped out. Knight of Wands, player energy. Here today, gone tomorrow, but very, very passionate. There's probably a lot of love, a lot of passion, a lot of drive, but, the Knight of Wands doesn't have control always of those emotions. He's a knight, he's not a queen. And that's my take on that. I don't think there's anything else I can say, but there's probably a lot of passion, which is hard to deal with and let go. I get it. Young Sweet Minnie. Yeah, you can totally ask a question. She is dealing with some very serious mental health issues. Sounds like it. I bet she is. When I don't know how old her son is, but it doesn't matter. When you're a parent, it is very difficult, and particularly as your children get older, it is very difficult to, it's harder to be a parent when the children are older than when they're smaller. You kind of know what their needs are. But when you are a parent of an older child, it becomes more difficult because you have to give them the space. I know this is going to trigger somebody, but you have to give them the space to do what they need to do. And not that doesn't mean you're taking a hands-off approach, but you have to constantly have to absolutely love every aspect of them, no matter what. And you need to be willing to speak to them about it. But you can't just be. That's what I mean about not being not being hands-off. You have to confront and talk with them about who they are and what's going on without it being full of judgment. It has to be zero judgment. It has to be all love and careful consideration. I've been through this, through some very scary moments. And I have a young adult child myself. So, who I love dearly and with whom I have the absolute most amazing relationship, but who have had some extremely scary moments when, I thought we were losing her to things like what Mystic Dreamer is writing about. Okay. And we still work through that. But we still work through it, and we work through it together and with love. But that takes courage to talk about the difficult things without it coming across as judgment and blame. And then that blame that you reflect back on yourself, which I'm sure Mystic Dreamer's girlfriend is reflecting back, dealing with the mental health issues. Yeah, we have to reflect upon ourselves to see what our hand was in that, but also to reflect that compassion, be like, yes, that's true. I see where those patterns maybe come from me, but they aren't, I'm also not to be blamed for that. It's a lot. It's a lot. We have to practice that compassion on ourselves before we can actually work that toward others. And that's what I mean. The masks are off, and they're off without judgment and blame. Am I going to get the job I want? And am I going to get the guy I want as well? Okay, well, we'll see. Alyssa, I'm going to Scorpio rising. Oh, Alyssa, my daughter is too. I love that. She's a double Leo. So, Alyssa, you said that you are a Capricorn and then a Scorpio rising. Ooh, what an interesting combo. Boy, you must be having some fun times with Capricorn with all of that planetary alignment in your house. And you got some times coming up, girl. All right. All right. I gotcha. I feel you. I feel you. I've got all of that happening in my house of the 10th house, which is the house of Capricorn in the setup of the zodiac. And so everything about my career, like I said, if you're focused on your career right now, there's probably a lot going on in your 10th house, which is the house of Capricorn. Alyssa, girl, you going through it, which is a good thing. You'll come out okay, though. You're going to be okay. We're all going to be okay as long as we just keep leaning on one another, leaning on the universe, and allowing the universe to support us all the time, because there is nothing that the universe doesn't want us to fail ever, even if it feels hard. Just accept it. Let it in. Here, there's your card. The Chariot. You got the Chariot as well. All right. So whatever you're driving towards. So I don't know what your question was. You said, I think you might have said something about love, life, Capricorn rising, Scorpio. So at any rate, you have the Chariot. So I don't know what you're driving for, but Chariot is about, I'm feeling a lot of success for you. And that Chariot came up as the Sugilite. So I don't know if you can get your hands on some Sugilite, Sugilite, but I would definitely grab a hold of that, because, and that you can see that color reflected in her, that purple, that dark blue color in her dress as she's driving the Chariot, that purple. And that's so Sugilite. And this talked about, balancing out our spirituality, our connection with the divine. As I said, lean into the divine for sure. And then you will know your way forward. You will know how to drive this Chariot with balance. You will drive your car with balance and ease. Bunny Nachos, hello. How are you? That's so funny. It's a fun name. I love it. All right. So Mystic Dreamer, I'm going to pull a card for you. I will pull a card from you. This is the Gilded Tarot card deck for those of you who are just joining. Hi, Bunny Nachos. Myself, I've been dealing with mental health issues myself. I'm just really contemplate leaving this. I don't really need it in my life. It drains me. The question today would be, what should I do? Say, work on this or leave? Oh, on your relationship. I'm going to go back to some of the things that I've been discussing throughout this entire reading. And, I understand what it's like to be in relationships that seem like they take from you all the time. And we are being asked to step up as leaders in our life. If you have a pattern of leaving things rather than staying with them and letting them kind of play out on their own, if you have a pattern of wanting to fix everything and working really hard to fix everything and then being resentful that it's not coming out that way, the way you want it, or you're working so hard and you're just exhausted and drained, stay. Yeah, I see that. If you notice those patterns, that when those things happen, you just kind of bolt rather than communicate properly and be like, this isn't working for me and I need this. This actually isn't the way my life is supposed to go. If you notice that you have patterns of ghosting or, leaving things before they kind of play out and letting the universe kind of like, I know that for all of us right now as a general reading, we are waiting for a bit of information probably to drop in before deciding. Wait just a little bit, and that would be my one advice before I even pull a card for you. Hey, Bunny Nachos, I'll pull a card for you too, but I'm going to pull a card for Mystic Dreamer here, and we'll see what the cards, Tarot, what do the cards have to say for Mystic Dreamer to give some guidance about the decisions that need to be made, and just give some guidance about how to handle the situation that they're in. Regarding, and we're always wanting to know whether to leave or stay, whether to take that Two of Wands path, but I know that right now we're definitely just lean into spirit as much as possible before you make a decision about driving anything or making any particular direction. Ask spirit guides, sit quietly, create space for yourself no matter what. I'm definitely getting that. Create space no matter what, and if the people around you can't accept that, stick to your guns. You have to create that space for yourself before you can be of help to anybody else. It's always, always, always true, because that's when you get your divine guidance, your good divine messages. Nine of Swords. So yeah, you've got a lot of worry energy. And there's another card actually that's wanting to come out. But the Ten of Cups is also here. So that's very different energy. So you're going from worry to abundance. So you've got a lot of worry, but I think this Nine of Swords is an invitation. In this particular card, I don't know if you see the owl in the background. It's in the very, very back. It's right there. There's a brown owl that's sitting on the outer ledge. And to me, what this card is saying for you reflects exactly back to what I was saying. Maybe you feel like you're in that Nine of Swords energy. But if you sit in contemplation and rather than in worry, because worry is just a meditation on the negative, and you anchor into this owl energy, this wisdom, that's your wiser self, that's your spirit guides, that's the universe waiting right on that window ledge for you to notice. She's not even looking at him. Notice that. Look outside that window, not at the swords. Look outside the window. Get that breath of fresh air and that wisdom. Get quiet. Find those quiet spaces for yourself. And at that point, you come into a place of maybe a shift of perspective, and then you're in a Ten of Cups energy. And whether this means, there's a lot of honeybees, I would look and I would try to see what is valuable in this relationship for you. This is asking you to take a perspective. I'm being told to look at the bottom of the deck, but you also have the Eight of Cups. So I think it's time to take value in yourself. And you've got the Eight of Cups here, because, you're taking your cups and you're moving on. But then there's the Ten of Swords. So at any rate, I think you've got to definitely sit with yourself, get out of the worry energy, look outside, look for that owl, look for that wisdom, tap into the owl totem, which is seeing things that aren't in front of you. Owl totem is also about seeing things beyond what's in front of your eyes, like going deeper. And that requires meditation, and not a meditation on worry. Like, get out of that worry energy. Be in a place of abundance. This is actually what I'm getting. Be in a place of abundance rather than in the worry energy. And no matter what you decide, You're going to take a step forward into some other future that, you know, you're going to be leaving stuff behind. Yeah, there's probably going to be some Ten of Swords and some Seven of Wands energy there, but think about, you've got everything you need. You've got everything you need. Don't come from a place of lack in whatever decisions you make going forward. All right, Bunny Nachos. I'm on 2 lives while I'm watching. Okay, I'm back and forth because I'm on 2 lives. Oh, I see what's up. You're welcome, Mystic Dreamer. I hope that helped. And, you know, just reflect on it. Don't make any knee-jerk reactions, but like I said, create some space. So Bunny Nachos, let me go ahead and pick a card for you. Bunny Nachos. And I don't know that you have a question in per se. Hi, Andrea C. How are you? I'll pick a card for you as well. And then I think I got to close it down because I got some work to do. And I need to eat. Oh, here, Bunny Nachos. Ooh, the Tower. Something is coming to, you're going to get a little lightning strike. And that may be, is that card for her? I don't know about that. That might actually be for me. Telling me to get off the live chat. Hi, Andrea. Bunny Nachos. I'm feeling that card isn't exactly for you, Bunny Nacho. All right. Yes, I know. I need to do some work. I gotcha. So I'm gonna close it down here after a card for Andrea. Thank you for joining me tonight, everybody. I enjoyed doing this reading. And so Bunny, let's see. Bunny, here we go. Oh, I'm sorry, Pete. I'm sorry. My little kitty's here. My black kitty. Bunny Nachos, you've got the 5 of Wands. So, you know, maybe this Tower card is going on for you, but I think maybe whatever the Tower is, you may feel like something's towerish right now, but it's trivial conflict. You've got the 5 of Wands energy, which is, you know, you feel like you're kind of like, you're on 2 lives right now. So you're doing a lot of different things. So you're pretty busy. But it's, you know, it may feel towerish, but maybe it's not. And that's maybe why I didn't feel this card was for you, because it's not real. Whatever you're going through isn't as bad as you think. It's not that big a deal. So you can relax. And you know what? The 5 of Wands also, and not particularly in this deck, but in some decks I've seen, there's like a playful energy. It's like kind of horseplay. I don't know if there's a horse in here, but yeah, there's like these little, in this particular card, there's like butterflies. There's not bunnies, but some little mice playing down here in the grass. So, you know, this is kind of just goofing around. It's not that big a deal, whatever it is you're going through. Don't make it a tower moment when it's not. And that was the energy. And that was the other thing. Let's not take things so seriously. So not, you know, Mystic Dreamer, if you're still on. Oh, young sweet Mimi, I'm so sorry. I will get to you. I'm sorry. Mystic Dreamer, if you, I would, again, don't take things like quite so seriously right now. Let things have their breath. Young sweet Mimi, let me pull a card for you. Let me come back to you. I'm so sorry. Thank you for saying something. I appreciate that. You asked, am I going to get the job I want? And am I going to get the guy I want as well? Well, the theme of this reading has been, if you can't be yourself in either the job, if you got to sell yourself in some weird way and like put on airs to get a job that you want, or say you have qualifications, or, you know, whatever. I mean, if you want the job and if you have what it takes and you're really into it, examine the questions, examine why you want that job, and examine why you want that guy. Card came up, Knight of Cups. So you've got a lot of emotion coming in. These are messages of love. And there's one more card sticking out that I'm going to pull. But you also have a 9 of Wands energy, which is a very defensive energy. So I think that, you know, maybe you're really excited about doing something, but there's something that's blocking. Something that's blocking. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. Are you in a defensive like mode in either of this guy situation or the work thing? Thanks for being gracious. You've got a Knight of Cups. He's got his cup held high. But, you know, he's also got a horse that's rearing in the air for no reason. There's a little mouse in the grass here. So this horse is like all up in alarm, like for no reason. Are you are you worried that if you're worried about getting the job, like I said, and he's got his mask on and he's looking down, like I would say leave the worry behind. I'm looking at the bottom of the deck. I've got an ace of cups here. So yeah, whatever you're worried about, tap into your own self, tap into the love that the universe has for you, and always know that no matter what, believe in yourself. Don't be so defensive. Don't defend. Don't block whatever the universe is trying to give you, like with disbelief, with non-belief. There's an eye in the sky. The universe is always looking out for you. So believe in yourself, whether it's with the guy, whether it's with the job, whether it's with whatever. Believe in yourself. Fill up your own cup, because you can get any job you want. You can get any guy you want. You really can. You really can. But look at why. Look at why you want that job. Look at why you want that guy. Does that make sense? Look at those without judgment and blame. Look at them honestly. That was the message that came up for the week. If you go back to the reading I did Sunday night, Midnight Prince came up, and it was about be honest, journal. Journaling came up, really sit and write down the reasons why you want these things. And be honest, does it really make sense for you? Is it really where you can feel the most comfortable? I am the guy for sure, LOL. He's a known player. Knight of Cups is in and with all of his energy, and sounds like you can do better than that. Why look, and why, and why have to look over your shoulder? Why have to look over your shoulder? That's that Nine of Wands energy. Why feel defensive? You don't need that, girl. You don't need that. You got the Ace of Cups all day long. Believe in yourself. You don't need any of that. I'm very glad. I'm very good. Andrea, I am going to pull a card for you. And then and again, thank you again, young, sweet Mimi. I'm glad you said something about me not pulling a card for you, as I did promise. And I'm glad I did that. And I will pull a card for you, Andrea. If you have a particular question, this is the way I'm going to wrap it up. So if anyone else comes on, and if you want a personal reading that's longer, just email me. I am happy to do those for you. Readings start at like $20 for like a half an hour. No big deal. No big deal. For larger readings, I can look at your astrology chart and bring some of that in. Oh, we have two cards that came up for Andrea C. Andrea, you got the Hanging Man, spiritual advice. I can make a list if you lose track. Thank you, Bunny. Thank you, Bunny. If I need that, I will absolutely hit you up. I appreciate that. Go back, because I read your card already. You got the Tower card, and you got, Five of Wands. Go back and listen to that. The Hanging Man, Andrea, and the Nine of Cups. So looking at things from a different perspective. I love and the Hanging Man card is a card of Pisces. You can't get more spiritual than the House of Pisces. Well, that's not true. That's not true. I'm a little biased. I get 5 placements in Pisces. But in the tropical zodiac, in the Vedic, I'm an Aquarian with a Pisces moon. So at any rate, but the Hanging Man is the card of Pisces. So this is a card of spirituality, and it's a card of looking at things from different perspectives, right? And it's also kind of, also considering why you're being hung for something that maybe you didn't do. And if you're getting hung up on the things, I don't know why this is coming up. I've never interpreted this card this way. I love this, Andrea. Thank you for this question. Thinking about why you're getting hung up on the stuff that what you're getting hung up on that's keeping you from being in that full access to your spiritual and your connection to the divine. Because you'd be surprised. I came up on a bunch of stuff just in the past week in myself. What are you getting hung up on that's keeping you from being, just knowing that you are a divine being and being an upright, hanging, non-hanging person? Get those goddamn chains off your ankles. Yeah, whatever is hanging you up, whatever hang-ups you have, sometimes you can be hung up about being in your true spirituality and whatever that is for you. And hung up on old habits and ways of being. I see there's some more. It totally resonate. Hunter T, hi. I will maybe pull one card, but that's all I can do because I gotta pull together an art program for my residents at where I work for my other job. Nine of Cups, but Andrea, you also got the Nine of Cups. So this again, this is what I said. Like, what are you getting hung up? Because you're actually in this place of abundance. Like you got 9 cups full, and 9 is a number of spirituality and completion. So I hope that helps. Hunter, I am going to give you a reading. Advice on to improve my relationship with my mother. Absolutely. That came up for me today too. At 49 years old, yes. 49 years old. I'm still thinking about my relationship with my mother. She's still alive. She's still alive. Very much alive. Hunter, Hunter, Hunter. You know what I'm thinking? And I actually want to pull one from the gemstone card crystal deck for you. We'll go back to this deck. I'm feeling the gems for you. Hunter would like to know, Tarot, about a improvement of relationship with mother. One card, please. One card, one card, one card. One card. Oh, whoo, that one just went flying. You got dioptase, Ace of Coins. Interesting. Huh. Ace of Coins is awesome. Ace of Coins is an ace, is all the things that you want and value on the physical plane, because, you know, the coins are the sign of the suit of pentacles. And, but you have the Two of Swords and opal on the bottom of the deck, which I was inspired to flip over for you. So the Ace of Coins is things that you value on the earthly plane, and you know our relationships are clearly fall into that. It doesn't always have to be like money or cars or my job or you know things like that. They're things that we value on the earthly plane, things that are right in front of us. And you know if you find your relationships valuable, which you should, which we should, on some level. Even though some people, like I said, we're going to be kind of like judiciously deciding. So this is coming up, Hunter, and this is something that you should probably hear. You're very welcome, Andrea. Aw. You're very welcome. It's something that we're being very judicious about how and with how much time and with whom we spend our time. Because whatever we digest, and that means anything we ingest, we digest. And that means food. That means the people we're around, the air we breathe, the people we listen to, the videos we watch, the music we hear, the books we read. You're ingesting Facebook. You know, how are you spending your time? What's of value to you? Check in. What do you value about this relationship with your mom? And the Two of Swords is, you know, a Two of Swords is generally depicted as someone who's got blindfold on, right? So maybe you don't see the total picture here. And swords are the suit of truth and of communication, truth and communication, right? Maybe you guys need to have a Two of Swords moment to get the blindfolds off so you can have a more honest relationship. Which brings you to an Ace of Coins. So, you know, I'm going to read about the two supporting. Opal is the stone for that Two of Swords, and dioptase, which I don't even know. We all know about opals, right? But dioptase, I don't know anything about that particular stone. I will read for that for you. Ace of Swords. Nope, that's swords. Yes, we do want to come to the swords, so we'll hold on to that. Okay, we'll hold on to that, but I want to read about that dioptase for Hunter. Ace of Coins, here we go. Dioptase, an intense green stone showing us the creative power of nature, brings us creativity and abundance of new ideas and impressions. Dioptase encourages the intuitive feeling and activity, so providing us with harmony and good results. So being in that blindfold that's in the traditional tarot, right, of a Two of Swords, usually it's a person blindfolded with swords like this, or you know some sort of crossed over thing. Like you know, there's a lot of defensiveness in thoughts and ideas in this relationship with you and your mom. And the blindfold, you don't see everything that's going on, but rely on your intuition. But don't let intuition be confused with like crazy emotion. Intuitive, you know, if you're feeling like heavy, that's not intuition. That's something else. It's ego. Have a conversation that helps you take off the blindfold so you can be more creative and abundant and have new ideas. Swords are ideas, right? So Two of Swords. The white opal reflects the truth. It shows us what goes on inside us and in our thoughts. Depending on our attitude, it mirrors the positive and negative and strengthens our own qualities. So, pull in that strength of the opal and be pure in your thoughts, be pure in your motives. That's why I said, don't get messed up about like what's just emotion and just like assumption and what's actually intuition. And intuition is different from fear too. If it feels fear-based, it's wrong. Okay, hopefully that helps. Oh, Hunter, I'm glad. I am very, very glad that helped you. I'm glad that helped you. I'm glad to be of service. All right, I am going to cut it off, guys, because I got to put those art packets together for my residents and get that to them so they can have them to study up. I work at an assisted living place. Part-time, so I do an art program with them, and we're going to talk about some cool artists from the Harlem Renaissance, actually. So anyway, if you guys want a personal reading, please let me know. My email address is lisa.loring, lisa.loring, that's N as in Nancy, G, @gmail.com. And like I said, it's like $20 for a half an hour, not a big deal. And I'm happy to help you with that. We can do it through PayPal. If you have further questions that you want to go into, if you have some further thoughts that come to you out of what we've discussed tonight, I may or may not come back later with some further thoughts. I usually do a little recording for the Instagrammers out there, but I wanted to come on live like I usually do on the daily to do this. And I'm glad all of you joined me and we had some fun together. So lots of love to everybody and good luck. And I'll talk to you later.